It's another great night for basketball in Park Hills. The Colonels in the white, the Tigers in the red. And we are just about ready to go. Good evening, everybody. I'm Paul Fretchner alongside Dan Shields. And we do know that there are some scoreboard issues right now. We're trying to get it figured out, and at the very least, we'll just have to keep updating you on what the score is in case that doesn't get figured out in time. But nonetheless, basketball is upon us. And Dan, how are you tonight?
Very good, Paul. Good to be with you and the Colonel Nation on the Colonel Athletic Network. We got a good old-fashioned neighborhood basketball game tonight with a great crowd here at Cov Catholic in Park Hills. We're getting the starting lineups announced for the Colonels right now. It's the same five they've been starting for the last 8 or 9 games.
Aiden Rusatz, Casey Nowak, C.J. Frederick, Nick Thielen, and Jake Walter. And then on the other side, for Beechwood, we have Mitchell Schilling, C.J. Brannon, Ben Tebby, Duncan Ball, and Scotty Drouд.
Prior to the game, before we came on the air, they honored Aiden Rusak with a basketball for his 1,000-point. He joined the Cov Catholic 1,000-point club, an elite club. He and his brother, Nick, are one of only 2 brother combinations to be in the 1,000-point club. The great Roger and Danny Tiemann from the late 50s and early 60s. Great Cov Catholic Hall of Famers.
Here we go. Jake Walter is at the tip, and Beechwood wins the tip. We are underway at 7:33 p.m. here at Covington Catholic. Good night for basketball. Cov Cath trying to extend their win streak to 9 games. Beechwood coming in 5-2 in their last 7. They're 14-10 overall. Mitchell Schilling going against Nowak to start off this game, and Duncan Ball way outside against Jake Walter. Cov Cath comes out in a man-to-man defense. It's Nick Thielen against Ben Tebby. Good contingent of Beechwood fans over to our left. The student section is hopping on both sides. A long first possession for the Tigers as they're waiting and waiting. Tebby against Frederick. Coach Scott Rusatz calling out the defense. Now it's Nowak on D. Brandon trying to do something against Nowak, and he pulls it back. Almost a minute-long first possession. Now it is a minute long. Nick Thielen out there against Mitchell Schilling. Schilling tries to drive. He's cut off. Duncan Ball around. C.J. Brannon. They have not been able to get it inside the arc yet. Brannon gives it to Ball. They're still standing by half court. Brannon drives, goes into Walter. Now they kick it back out. Walking around, they turn it over. Frederick down the other way. Frederick just about dunks it, but he lays it in with ease. And after that almost minute-and-a-half first possession, it's the Tigers who trail first. It's Cov Cath on the board first.
CJ turned him over.
And then on offense, Beechwood able to find the open man underneath the basket to tie the game at 2. Casey Nowak to Nick Thielen under the basket. Back to Nowak in the corner. He'll drive, go to Frederick for 3, who passes it up down to Walter down low with the left hand. Up and in for 2.
They look to get it to the big guy right away, get him involved, feed him. He's been tremendous, just tremendous over the last 10 ball games, shooting an unbelievable field goal percentage at 75% for the season and well over 80% over the last 10 games.
Nick Thielen and the rest of this Cov Cath squad playing stout defense to begin this game.
Beechwood's going to run a lot of motion. You're going to see a lot of back screens, and also you're going to see a lot of backdoor cuts from them. They spread you out.
Down the lane and working against contact. That was Ben Tebby, and he's fouled on his follow-up shot. It's 4-2 Cov Cath early in this one, 5:20 to go in the first.
Scott calls over Nick Thielen and is giving him some coaching. You lost a little stance there on defense underneath and gave up some possession, which allowed the rebound and then foul.
First free throw, good for Tebby.
Tebby's their second leading scorer, Paul. He's averaging 10.2 a game.
Tebby's taking a free throw, good as well. 4-4 the score. Frederick brings it across to the wing. Now Nowak at the top of the key.
It looks like they're man-to-man. They started out 2-3. The Beachy Tech was 2-3 the first trip. Now they've looked like they're playing some sort of man-to-man.
Frederick trying to turn a corner. Rusat's a spin move to Nowak in the corner. And he takes a three, goes halfway down and out, but a strong offensive rebound to Thielen. Frederick for three. All three of those. It's 7-4.
And Coach Getz wanted an over the back or a push on the back on Thielen. It looked like a pretty good rebound, pretty clean through that.
Stroud pulls up for two. It's too strong. Jake Walter was open underneath the basket. Now it's Nowak. Frederick back out by midcourt. And he looks to the bench for the offense. Frederick with his left hand. No, he'll just pull up for three. It's short. Nowak gets the offensive board and puts it up. No. Offensive board again. Thielen scrambles around, finds it, and puts it up and in for two.
Beechwood's going to have to get to the glass. They can't give us three opportunities. They're going to have to do a better job rebounding. Break the press there, a little soft press they had going.
Beechwood controlling the tempo, but the Colonels just taking every opportunity they can to come down and score quickly. A tough shot by C.J. Brennan down the lane against contact. Basket's good. Casey Nowak conceded the foul.
CJ's the transfer from Covenant Catholic. He's a junior, and he's having a very good year, averaging 11.1 a game.
First free throw off the back iron, too strong. 9-6 the score. Cov Cath in the lead, under 4 to go in the first quarter. Entry pass to Walter, who's quickly double teamed. Tyler Fleek in the game now. He takes the pass, and his shot a little bit too hard. Back the other way, 2-on-1 for Beechwood. They kick it out for a three, and it's off the backboard. Frederick, no numbers, 1-on-3. He'll take it himself and has it swatted from behind, but he's fouled on the shot.
That was Scotty Droude's first shot down there at the other end. Scott is the freshman who is having a great year at 21.5, one of the top scorers in the region. And Father Scott Droude was a great player and one of the great all-time 9th region players in the history.
First free throw for Frederick is good. And A.J. Mayer checks back into the game for the first time in quite a while.
Yeah, since his injury down at Fern Creek, they've been bringing him along, getting his conditioning right, and he is pumped city to be in this game tonight. I know that.
Second free throw goes down for Frederick.
Michael's not here tonight. He's home with the flu, getting some rest.
Beechwood trying to do their best to slow down this game, and we've seen that give the Colonels some trouble. Casey Nowak dives for the ball. He knocked it in the backcourt. He creates a turnover. Tyler Fleek with it. Rusatz to Frederick in the corner for three. No, step in, take a mid-range jumper. No. Mayer quickly in the game with an offensive rebound. Dishes to Nowak for two, but he's fouled and he'll go to the line.
A.J. Mayer is a determined rebounder. He's been in the game for 30 seconds, and he goes and gets the basketball. He has that knack, that knack for going to get rebounds that you see from the great rebounders, the Wes Unsells, those kind of guys. He just knows where the ball is and he attacks. It's Rodman. He's got that nose for it.
First free throw a little bit off to the right for Nowak.
AJ does have the knee brace on tonight.
Second free throw goes down. 12-6 the score, under 3 to play in the first. For Cov Cath, they have the lead. All the way on the other side, Stroud. No substitutions yet for the Tigers. Ball. Now Brannon, guarded by Nowak closely. Death Rage gives it over to Stroud, whose shot is off. Rusatz. Now Frederick, and in the corner, Nowak for three. That's nothing but net. Much to the pleasure of this Cov Cath crowd. And it's 15-6, a quick start for the Colonels.
Coach Getz is not happy at all. He is giving it to the crew here. He's looking for an over the back at the other end again, and you know, it looked like it was a clean rebound, that there wasn't any contact. You know, there has to be an advantage or disadvantage gained when there's a foul. The premise of a foul is that there has to be an advantage and disadvantage, and I didn't see advantage or disadvantage in that situation.
Do want to remind everybody again, we understand the score is not working on the scoreboard, or at least as of about 2 minutes ago it wasn't working. It's 15-6 Cov Cath right now with 2:20 to go in the first quarter. We'll keep you updated, obviously, as it goes along. We'll let you know as frequently as we can. Beechwood inbounding, facing that full court pressure. Some substitutions now for Beechwood. Getting it across his ball, he's double teamed. Now CJ Brannon. Zach Deathrage, he has nowhere to go. Scotty Drought against Frederick, he still has his dribble. Ball, and he's fouled, pushed from behind by Jake Walter. That was about 35 feet from the basket.
He's not going to hurt you out there. He plays underneath. He's a strong player. Had a big basket against Newport in the All-A, but he's not going to hurt you out there.
Trying to get a pick here is Brannon. He stops his dribble, pulls up, and gets it back after a handoff. Ball down the lane. Brannon, a little too hard with his left hand. Quick outlet pass to Rusatz. He'll pull up for three. No short. Offensive rebound. The ball's tipped away, and they're going to say it's off C.J. Frederick. They go back to the Tigers.
Nifty little move by Brannon, but couldn't finish.
15-6 Colonels, 1:30 to go in the first. And a quick turnover. Frederick, that ball was right to him. Rusatz down the lane, the left side, he's cut off. Frederick, he'll take it. Free throw line jumper is good. Two more for C.J. Frederick, and it's 17-6.
Pressure is bothering those guys from Beechwood.
Deathrage tries his luck. Too much size on the interior for the Colonels.
A.J. walled up on him, and he couldn't get around him without making it a very tough shot.
A.J. Mayer, cross-court pass to C.J. Frederick, and Rusatz will reset the offense. Under a minute to go now. 45 seconds ticking down. A.J. Mayer takes his first shot since coming back and knocks down a three. 20-6 is your score. Colonels on top.
Boy, I know that made him feel good, and he wants to be a big contributor here. Almost a great steal there. I'm sure his brother Michael is listening, and his mom and dad are here supporting him, and have always in all his endeavors in athletics.
We'll talk about Michael a little bit later. Picked up a couple of more football offers. We'll have a chance to talk about that maybe in between the quarters. Michael, obviously one of the best tight ends in the country, if not the best, and we'll expand on that in a little bit. But for right now, there's still 30 seconds of basketball to be played in the opening corner. 20-6 is the score. Ben Tebby going against Tyler Fleek. He's at the mid-court line, and he might be waiting for the last shot. It looks like they are. They're looking at the clock. Tebby calling for a screen. Now he wants an isolation.
Looks like they're setting something up for Scotty, maybe.
Down the lane, the right side. Now he splits the lane, goes against some contact, and it's a block. That's TJ Deere picks up the foul. The foul was on the floor, I believe.
That's what they called. And again, Coach Getz wanted them going up in the air for two for the free throws. But
5.3 to go. Ball's inbounded. Driving down the baselines, Tebby puts it up. No. And a follow by Deathrage. Couldn't get that one to fall either, but he was fouled on the putback. So with 0.9 seconds left, Deathrage will be shooting two from the line.
Zach kind of slithered through some bodies there and was able to be more aggressive and to get that rebound for Beechwood and get himself to the line.
Death Rage makes his first. He's only a 57% free throw shooter this year. (20-7) is the score. Colonels are going to have to inbound it and get it up quick. Second free throw good, and substitution for Beechwood. 0.9 seconds. This is going to be one look and shoot.
The right guy to throw the football pass.
Mayer inbounds to Davin, who puts it up, and that was close from half court underneath the hoop. And after one, it's 20-8 in favor of Cov Cath.
Now the Tigers are trying to control the pace once it gets over into the front court, and the Colonels are putting a lot of pressure on with their press and in denying passing lanes.
20-8 is your score after one, and it's been a good opening quarter for the Colonels.
Just want to remind everybody that Jack Kalin Freshman Tournament starts here tomorrow at Covington Catholic High School. What a great experience it is for these freshman players and teams. They really make it special. If you've never been, especially down to the semifinals or the finals of the tournament, it's really a neat experience. But it starts tomorrow here with 8 games, and it'll be a great time. And Jack Kalin started this tournament and has been such a pillar here at Covington Catholic for so many years. We'd like to also thank our corporate sponsors: St. Elizabeth Healthcare, Ortho Cincy, Global Business Solutions, Strudy and Zimmerman. Mark and his wife Jamie are in tonight. U.S. Bank, Jimmy Danaman, Pomeroy, Barleycorns, Richard Dickman Sports Cafe, Rumpke Waste and Recycling, Thomas More College, DBL Law. Thank you for your sponsorship at the corporate level for your Covington Catholic Colonels.
Second quarter underway. Jake Walter up top, goes down low to Nick Thielen. Finds himself under the basket, but he creates enough of an angle to put it up and in for two, and it's 22-8. This Tiger crowd to our left has been silenced thus far.
Now they go soft press, 2-2-1 soft press.
Good cross-court pass to Death Rage. Puts it in for three, 22-11.
His dad, Jerry, never shot like that.
Rusatz pulls up from the elbow. He's knocked down, but he knocks down the shot. No foul on the play, but he gets 2 points for himself. And then on the inbounds pass,
Aiden's been struggling a little bit, so I hope that gets him going and gets him on his way and gets his confidence back. He's a big part of this team.
Right after the inbounds, he knocked it out of bounds with his foot. Beechwood still controls. Up top, it's Tebby. Knocks away by Frederick. Frederick has Walter if he wants him. He'll take it himself, and he's fouled. Going up with his left hand, he's going to the line for two.
Jake ran the court, was hoping to get the lob pass to the rim, but CJ took it to the rack hard and tough and got the foul. And Coach Rusatz said, "It's all right, big fella, relax. We'll get you the ball," he's saying.
First free throw, good for Frederick. Pretty packed house tonight.
Yeah.
Second free throw, also good. 26-11 is the score. Cov Cath with a 15-point lead and trying to expand it before halftime, under 7 to play in the second quarter.
Are not finding any success getting it to their leading scorer, Scotty Dowd. He's only had one field goal attempt.
Ben Tebby underneath the basket was double teamed, but he put it up and in off the glass, 26-13.
Yeah, Ben got a back screen and had an easy bucket there.
Nick Thielen knocks down a free throw line jumper, a good entry pass from Casey Nowak in the corner. And
we got some blood. One of the ball, is that? Yeah, Duncan Ball looks like he's got a little bit of bloody nose. His brother coming in for him, Dayton Ball.
C.J. Brandon with the ball, taking it up. Guarded by Rusatz, who's giving him his left hand. Rusatz pokes it away, but Brandon gets it back. Hands it off to Droude. That's Brandon again. Brandon from the wing for three. Short, rolls off the back of the rim. Walter with the rebound. Rusatz has Walter if he wants him, but he'll use his screen. No, he rejects it, goes the other way. Thielen in the corner, his foot's on the line. That'll be a two. It's a little bit off to the left. And a rebound for Beechwood. Casey Nowak tried to poke it from behind. And he committed a reach around foul. Nick Thielen comes out of the game. Tyler Fleek in. Fleek, Rusatz, Casey Nowak, C.J. Frederick, and Jake Walter.
Casey's now guarding Scotty and face guarding him. And they're talking a little bit to each other. They're going to try to frustrate the freshman.
Down the lane, a charge there by C.J. Brandon. Good play to slide over and take that one. 28-13 the score. 5:40 to go in the second quarter.
Those are the things Tyler does. Can really help out. That doesn't show up on the stats sheet. You know, steps in there, takes a charge. Great team player, great team play.
C.J. Frederick. Nowak, top of the key. Nowak's got a lot of space if he wants a shot. Instead, it's Frederick. Nowak again. Fake the shot, go to Walter. And a foul. That was ball. Dayton ball.
Dayton's put together pretty good. And he just took a hacksaw to that's an illegal screen. Or I mean a chuck by Dayton ball, I think. Yeah, Dayton ball looked like he was playing tackle for Beechwood. He gave a kind of a two-arm shiver on a cutter.
And Dayton's going to have to promptly come out of the game. Casey Nowak still waiting to inbound the ball underneath his own basket. Colonel's going from right to left from our broadcast position. 28-13 the score. Nowak inbound to Walter. Rusatz, they have Frederick coming around the screen. Rusatz will take it himself down the lane. Tough one. And on the rebound, after the missed shot, it's Jake Walter picking up a foul.
You can feel that the rivalry's starting to kick in now. You see some guys, a little blood from Duncan Baugh, and his brother didn't like that on his brother, so he comes in and a couple of physical plays. So the tide of the game, the type of game has turned a little bit.
Walter comes out of the game. A.J. Mayer comes in. Casey Nowak also out. Nick Thielen returns.
Both teams are in the bonus now, Paul.
28-13 the score. 5:08 to go in the second quarter. Cov Cath with a 15-point lead still. That's kind of where it's been the whole game. Frederick crosses over down the lane with his right hand up and in from the left side. Good for two. It's 30-13.
That was a nifty little move. He kind of shot with his opposite hand going against his body.
Dumping it down into the corner for Ben Tebby. Tebby kicks it into the opposite corner for Death Rage. A high arcing three falls through the strings, and it's 30-16.
They're going to have to find Zach. That's two for him in a row. They're going to have to find and get a hand up on him.
Tyler Fleek, Dayton Rusatz. Rusatz along the wing. A.J. Mayer came up to set his screen, but now they'll reset. Head coach Scott Rusatz calls out a different play. Thielen to Mayer. Back to Rusatz, top of the key.
Set
Jabs.
play for CJ. Set play for CJ.
CJ coming down. Dumps it off to Tyler Fleek. Rusatz comes around, tries a three. Nope. Passes it up. Thielen underneath the basket. Started to drive the baseline, and the Tiger fans in attendance wanted to travel by Aiden Rusatz. They didn't get it.
I think he did. Looked like he shuffled his puppies there, but they didn't get the whistle. And it looks like one of the officials has just told Coach Getz that enough is enough.
A 1-and-1 for Nick Thielen. Ball rattles around, hits the backboard, and then falls through. 31-16. Bends his knees, second free throw. No, too strong. He goes 1 for 2. Scotty Droud, Tebby, and Brannon from the wing. Brannon with Droud again. A.J. Mayer pops out for a steal. Couldn't get it. Tebby, cross-court pass to Brannon for 3. Back iron, no.
Tough shot there. Sliding, not set to shoot the 3. The Colonels were really smothering there on that defensive stance.
Aiden Rusatz, 2 up top, 3 down low. Nick Thielen tries to drive. Rusatz and Frederick from the elbow. A.J. Mayer knocks down 2 more. A.J. Mayer has come in and just been an offensive weapon early on in this one. 33-16. And quickly a foul. I believe that was on Mayer. No, that was on C.J. Frederick.
Droud's going to the line. He's going to be trying to get his first points with 3:14 in the second quarter. He's a 72% free throw shooter, and he missed it.
(33-16), 3 minutes to go in the second quarter. From underneath, a charge. And that one go against A.J. Mayer. So far tonight, we're still getting some corrections on the scoring sheet, but unofficially, C.J. Frederick has 16 points, Aiden Rusatz with 5, Nick Thielen has 7, Casey Nowak has 4, Jake Walter has 2, and A.J. Mayer, he has at least 5.
Tomorrow, the JV plays Simon Kenton out at the St. Henry Sports Complex, the old sports of all sorts on Route 18 next to Boone County at 9 a.m. They will be playing in the JV tournament starting tomorrow. You talked a little bit about Michael and some of the offers he's picked up. He picked up an offer last week from Arkansas and from Michigan, as well as he hasn't picked up an offer. Stanford was in the building yesterday, speaking with him. So he in some ratings he's rated the #1 tight end in the country. That's pretty impressive for the 6'5", 230-pound sophomore from Edgewood.
Arkansas, Louisville, Purdue, Notre Dame, Minnesota, Kentucky, Miami, Ohio, and Cincinnati so far. What a list. Pretty much wherever you want to go.
Yeah, and I read the article in the Michigan paper that, you know, the coaches just love his work ethic, and they think he's going to be a great one for the Maize and Blue. I don't think the South Bender, the Notre Damers, or the Wildcats, or any of those guys want to give up on him yet. Stanford wouldn't be a bad place to go either.
No, I don't think
that
so.
Education.
I don't think so. 33-16 the score, under 3 to play in the second quarter.
Interesting. The Colonels are looks like they're going box and one. A little box and one on Scotty. That's where 4 guys play a 2-2 zone, and Casey is in all-out denial of Scotty getting the basketball. Scotty's not scored, and he's averaging 21.5. Oh, yeah, they're gonna get Scotty on that. He just getting frustrated. Absolutely, good call. Oh no, they went.
That foul was charged to Casey Nowak.
Yeah, oh, well, I guess Michael saw the second. I'm sorry, you saw the second one.
First free throw coming for Scotty Droud. He knocks it down as they're in the bonus, 33-17. Second free throw, good as well. Beechwood still down by 15, and it feels like every time they try to come back, the deficit's still just as large. Casey Nowak left wide open, and he says, if you're going to leave me wide open, I'll take all 3 of those. 36-18, and I don't know why they leave him that wide open. That's the second one he's knocked down.
Yeah, but he likes the baseline.
Long three there. And short rebound, diving on the floor was Nick Thielen. Frederick doesn't have any numbers. A hesitation move, spin down the lane, no. A.J. Mayer, the follow, yes.
He can rebound the basketball, folks. Tenacious at going after the basketball, running the court, hustle play, example player.
And then on the floor is Casey Nowak diving for it, and he doesn't want to give it up. This team's so fiery, so competitive. Love to see everything you're seeing out of them tonight, 38-18. And this one is in danger of getting away from the Tigers real quick. 1:37 to go in the second quarter.
Looks like they're still in the 2-2 box.
And then a foul by either C.J. Frederick or Aiden Rusatz. They're going to give it to Frederick, and that was a delayed call. And that's C.J. Frederick's third foul already. Having a little bit of trouble with the statistics right now, so I don't want to give anything away officially, which is why I've been a little bit hesitant to share some of those stats, because on the scoreboard, it's 38-18. The stats tell me it's 41-18. I believe the scoreboard is right, and those stats will most likely get corrected at halftime, but until then, we're going to go by the scoreboard. First free throw, no. And second free throw, yes. 38-19. Minute and a half to go. Now some soft pressure from the Tigers. Haven't seen this yet.
No, first time we've seen it. Colonel's handled it well.
Nick Thielen drives the baseline. Ball knocked out of bounds. It'll go to the Tigers.
Spoke a little soon there. They didn't handle it well there.
Nick Thielen had the ball along the left side, drove the baseline, passed it to Mayer, and it was off of Mayer's hands, said the referee. 38-19, 1 minute to go. Beechwood passing it around, top of the key three. Knocks it down. That was C.J. Brannon.
That's too wide open at the top of the key. You got to get a hand in the face. He's the second leading scorer.
Aiden Rusatz, Mayer in the corner, hesitates, and a ball out of bounds. It'll stay with the Colonels. Tiger fans wanted a charge. 43 seconds to go in the quarter. Jack Davin inbounding the ball now. Davin inbounding to Mayer. He goes up and is fouled on the shot. 2 shots. Tiger fans wanted a charge, but Mayer earns 2 from the stripe.
Strong move by A.J. Takes the ball to the rack and gets to the line.
38-22, and that 16-point lead stays at the very least. Mayer, first free throw is good.
It felt like Beechwood was trying to crawl back a little bit and crawl back into the game, and not the case.
(39-22), second free throw, right through, and it's 40-22.
Dear Davin and Thielen checked in.
A turnover, and A.J. Mayer, the pass from Jack Davin goes right over Mayer's head. No way for Mayer to handle that one as the Colonels were trying to come back the other way. A.J. Mayer asking where that pass was intended.
Now, it might have been a little communication, not being on the floor with each other in a real game situation for a couple of weeks, for almost 2 months. So
Colonel's playing pretty much a 2-3 zone right now, and Beechwood doesn't have anybody lower than the free throw line. 5 seconds to go, and no, excuse me, I was duped by the student section too. Hard to see the scoreboard from where we are. We have to lean down every time to check it. And I trusted the student section, and when Beechwood had the ball, I'm not sure why I did that one. Rookie mistake on my part.
Well, the crazies are tremendous. They get everybody at least once.
Learn my lesson.
You're not the first one they've gotten. But
learn my lesson.
That's the intangible that the crazies bring.
6 seconds to go. Beechwood turned it over. Now 3 seconds. Rusatz to Frederick at the buzzer. Yes, sir. For the second home game in a row, C.J. Frederick knocks down a very long 3 at the buzzer from the wing. And it's 43-22 at halftime.
Yeah, I mean, they brought CJ and Aiden back in. You know, CJ with 3 fouls. They run a play for him, get him to a 22-footer, and he bangs it down, man. Nice shot. Nice way to end it. Puts it at a 21-point lead for the Colonels.
It's a very, very good environment here tonight. Can't say enough about that one. 43-22 is your score. Halftime just getting started, and everybody's starting to get up and mingle around. Dan, anything for us?
Well, we're going to have Al Herzenberg up shortly to visit with us, and hopefully we'll get our stats here in a timely fashion. But, you know, our halftime sponsor is Specialized Plumbing Parts, Matt Loneman, class of 2000. So thank you, Specialized Plumbing, for the support of our halftime show. So, you know, it's a 21-point lead. The Beachy Tech team felt like they were making a stand to come back and get back in the game, but, you know, got it down to about 14 points, but the Colonels jumped right back in and extended that halftime lead to 21 points. What did you see out there, Paul?
I saw a lot of good shooting again, and we had talked about this a little bit, but the rebounding, that's what stood out to me. The offensive rebounding for the Colonels just kept going after it and going after it. And, I mean, there was just nothing else you could say. Just so tenacious on it. Al's trying to get up here, and he's quite an athlete still at his age, but here he comes. So we're going to get Al in here in a second. He's getting some headsets on, and then we'll have a little time with Nolan. Nolan wants to make sure Grandpa, Ruth, and Paul are listening, and Rick and Lydia. Aiden got honored before the game. He got the basketball for his 1,000 point. Him and Nick are one of 2 brother combinations at Covington Catholic High School that now are in the 1,000 point club. We're almost dialed in here. Almost.
Yeah. Again, it's a 43-22 point game with the Colonels up 21 points. Thank you, Mad Dog, for the statistics.
We'll go through those stats here momentarily, but first, Al,
how
are you?
Welcome, Al. Welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you.
It's great to hear you. We hear you all during the game, and you've done such a tremendous job for so many years. But thanks for joining us, and you know, tell us a little bit about your tennis program. It's been such a stellar program over the last few years, and underneath your tutelage, tell us about your team and what you're looking at.
First of all, hello to Colonel Nation. I hope you guys can come back and catch these Colonels in action because they're a lot of fun.
They are.
And you guys have been doing a great job here, by the way.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, with the tennis team, Batchkalupa gave me the tennis program a huge shout out to Hall of Fame and said we were like a freight train. I got a good thing going right now. I have 2 assistant coaches that have been wonderful. Tony Hennies and Mrs. Frances Din have been with the program for a couple years, and the boys they just love it. And if they love it, the energy's there. They do a lot of off-season work, and we're going to start up in about 2 weeks when it's 30 degrees out. But we're gonna hit it.
Well, you got a tremendous facility over there that the Young family and so many others, but the Young family did and put together. And, you know, the Colonels have always had great tennis programs over the years, but really over the last, you know, 6 to 8 years, you have taken that to another level.
Well,
Tell us about some of your players coming back there that you have big expectations for.
Well, we're hoping to make this I believe the 17th or 18th consecutive region. We've been state runner-up twice in the last 10 years. We're knocking on the door. It's going to happen. We're knocking on the door. With the facility, we have about 40 to 50 kids who will come out for tennis.
Wow.
And all the other coaches are like, why in the heck aren't you cutting them? And I looked at, they gave me a $500,000 tennis complex. It's kind of hard to cut kids to do that. The 2 assistant coaches, you know, really make my job a lot easier to work with that 10 roster varsity, and then the rest of the kids, they play JV matches. We'll pull them up and play varsity when we get a chance to. We have tournaments, in-house tournaments, and we play 2 JV tournaments. So we develop the guys early on. They buy in. They like our jerseys, and we look good in our bling, right? But the varsity kids coming back. Max Cook looks to be the number 1. He has been a regional runner-up in singles for 3 years, but behind other colonels. This is his year. I told him he can be on the record board as the 4-time runner-up, or he can break that and keep that singles title with the colonels. We have the twins, the Trojani boys, Cristiano and Benito. They played doubles last year, but I think one of them is going to play singles for us. Evan Gardner played varsity last year. Alex Schneider, a senior, played varsity. Luke McHale is knocking on the door for varsity. I hope I'm not forgetting, but we do have a lot of players coming back. David Schlachter, we're expecting big things out of him as a sophomore. His brother won region doubles for us a couple of years ago.
I believe that was one of the Beechwood students that just hit a half-court shot.
And Father Hannigan's on the line now.
Uh-oh.
He promised he's going
to. The back of the iron was unkind from half court for the good father.
He's getting closer and closer.
Well, you guys don't walk away from anybody. You schedule everybody. I know you schedule, the Mason School District that has a tremendous program.
That was an embarrassing loss for us.
I'm not trying to, but
no, seriously, Mason was our last home match last year, and we had just beaten St. X for the first time. A Kentucky school had beaten St. X, and that was legit. I mean, they played their studs against us, and our guys just proved too much for them. But Mason came down and made us look silly, but we learned a lot from that. Going into the region, it was like the other teams were playing in slow motion, because we're playing that heavy schedule like all our sports
like the
do.
basketball team
Sure.
and the football
team. We don't get better at Cov Cath by I'm not putting anybody down, but by playing teams that are weaker than us. Our first tournament is first weekend and second weekend in March, and we're down there with Trinity and St. X and DuPont Manual and McCracken County. These are all top 5 teams in the state, and we're right there. Our guys, they're not going to shy away from anybody.
I played twice in the state tournament back in '84 and '85, but
I was in high school.
Scotty Drought was pretty good. I think he was a 2-time. Scott Drought was a 2-time runner-up when I played. But thank you for all you do. Not just you do so much in the building over there. When kids talk about you, when people I know who are adults talk about you, they always talk with so much respect and class about you.
Well, I appreciate that. Cov Cath is a special place, and you guys can see that. This is my 28th year here. It feels like it's my 3rd.
That's awesome.
The kids graduate and they keep getting older, but I don't. That's what I keep going with.
Well, Coach, great having you up here. Thank you for taking the time, and good luck this year. Okay?
Thank you very much. You guys do a great job.
I appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank you very much.
Coach Al Herzenberg, the tennis coach for the Covington Catholic Tennis Colonels, who have they're the powerhouse, not only in Northern Kentucky, but they are in the state. And the kids the right way to do things. Not only are they successful, they're classy. So let's look at these stats. It's a new sheet. We've never seen this sheet.
It is. This is a new program, and I'm wondering if that's a little bit of the reason why there's been some sort of a delay online. And here we go. So C.J. Frederick led the way. He had 16 points to lead the Colonels in the first half. Casey Nowak and Nick Thielen were second. A.J. Mayer was second. He had 9 points in the first half. Casey Nowak and Nick Thielen both had 7. Aiden Rusatz hit that tough elbow jumper for 2. And Jake Walter, he had 2 as well to round out the scoring. C.J. Frederick, he had 3 assists and 3 steals. Rusatz, he had 3 steals as well. Rebounding, I mentioned it to open halftime. Out-rebounding the Tigers 16-7 as we get just about set for the second half.
7 turnovers created by the Colonels, 3 by Beechwood. Looks like from the full floor we were 62% from the floor. And we were 62% from three-point land also. Beechwood was 6 of 16 for 37.5 and 3 of 7 for 42, almost 43%. Zach Detheridge led them with 8 points, so he knocked down a couple of threes. So here we go.
Second half just about to get started.
Again, want to thank Specialized Plumbing for the halftime sponsorship. And sorry, Nolan was here, but he jetted out of here. But thank you, Nolan. Sorry we didn't get him on Grandma and Grandpa Rusak and Finneran.
Nolan, actually, I don't know if you were watching if you were watching the stream, you would have seen it took a half-court shot. It was where he went down and couldn't make it back up by the end of halftime. First pass to Jake Walter to begin the second half is deflected out of his hands, and we're underway in quarter number 3. 43-22 lead for Cov Cath. Cov Cath in the white, Beechwood in the red. Now Beechwood throwing it around, they can't handle it. Out of bounds, it'll it'll go back to the Colonels.
That pass to Jake in the post, they've got to lead it to his inside hand. Ball was over top on the high side of him on defense, giving it to the baseline pass, and they threw the ball to the high side instead of the low side hand.
Frederick working in the corner. Rusatz looking for the entry pass to Walter. Nowak, now they go to Walter. It's tipped away. Not the best of entry passes, but Nowak steals it right back. Here's Walter doing what he can, and a block underneath. Walter will, I think, go to the line for 2.
Big Jake seems a little frustrated tonight. He was that pass got stolen from him, and he showed a little emotion. He's got to get that under control and get focused back here at the game.
It was a foul on the floor, they said, on the inbounds pass. Here it is, Walter underneath. Oh, good pass across the court. Thielen underneath. The dish from Rusatz.
Pretty pass, pretty
spicy
assist.
Passing underneath the basket for 2. 45-22 the score, under 7 to play in the third.
Three-quarter press causes the turnover by Beachy Tech.
Lackadaisical turnover goes right to the Colonels. Frederick for 3 from the wing. No, push from the back was Thielen, but no foul called. Rusatz looking for Walter. Walter going strong to gain some positioning.
I think at halftime, Coach Getz really challenged his guys that we're not going to get pushed around.
And Walter definitely committed a foul right there.
And Jake's getting a little carried away. He's got to watch himself. He's got to watch himself.
Jake Walter very frustrated as he comes off the floor.
And that's how teams are going to go at him, They're going to go at him. They're going to be physical. They're going to be nitpicky on him. They're going to, he's got to know that's going to come to him.
A.J. Mayer comes in for him. Ball poked into the backcourt. Nowak almost gets the steal. Another steal almost again. Nowak, good defense against Duncan Ball. Ball driving. No, excuse me, that was Ball underneath the basket. Dishing that off was Scotty Drought.
Scott's got to be involved. You only had 2 points in the first half.
Rusatz 3 way off to the left. Now Mayer, offensive board, put back, no, but a foul, and he'll be shooting 2.
A.J. Mayer is the chairman of the board. I mean, he is the chairman of the board.
That is one way to describe him, and probably the most apt way to describe him. Free throw good for Mayer. And this has stayed, I would describe it as a contentious game, even if it is a 22-point, almost getting into the rout territory, but I mean,
doesn't feel that way.
It doesn't feel that way. The environment of the crowd and the atmosphere of the teams is just kind of kept this game close even if the score hasn't showed it.
Yeah, Beechwood is saying we're here and we're playing.
Mayer pokes the ball away, creates the turnover. Thielen down the lane, slams it down, and Thielen is given a technical foul as he looked back at the Tigers after slamming it down right in defense. Thielen happy to take that tech, and the Cov Cath student section appreciates it as well.
Well, Big Nick tested the springs on the rims down here at Covington Catholic, but not, sometimes young men, the emotion gets to them.
First free throw for Scotty Drought, no, having to face the wrath of that student section. Second free throw goes through. What a sequence for the Colonels. Dealing a very athletic play. And it's now a 23-point lead for Cov Cath. Aiden Rusatz dives on the floor to steal the ball. Nowak going up, no, Mayer, and he's fouled. Cov Cath really taking the momentum right now. They're trying to end this game right here, right now.
Well, Aiden got in a great stance, picked the pocket. AJ running the court, attacks the rim, and Beechwood fouls him.
Mayer, free throw, straight through the strings. 49-25, and this free throw could double them up.
AJ could care less if he scored 2 points or 22 points. He wants to win. He wants to bring a regional championship home to Covington Catholic and a state championship to add to his football state championship, the Mr. Football candidate.
Second free throw went down for Mayer. Beechwood trying to muster something up on offense, but they haven't been able to. Ball goes off of C.J. Brandon's knee and out of bounds. This thing could get ugly here real quick.
I think, Scott challenged the Colonels also. Aiden really defensively up into the Brandon on the defensive side and, caused him to turn the ball over.
Nowak has his pass deflected, but gets it right back. Nowak looks to the coach for the play call. Nowak down the lane to Mayer, and he's fouled on the shot.
Hard foul. CJ, that's a hard foul. It's a good foul. He didn't get it up there. He's going to have to go earn them at the line, AJ.
AJ Mayer steps up, knocks down the first. He has been stellar in his return game tonight.
Hasn't missed a beat, really. Guy who's been off, 7 weeks. You would expect him to be a little bit rusty, but I've seen none of that. I've just seen the AJ Mayer that comes in and plays tough, plays hard, does the little things.
Second free throw is good for Mayer. 52-25. It's been all Cov Cath in the third quarter.
One of the finest Colonel Crazy cheers if you're watching. Take a look at this. I'm not sure what they call that. The Incredible Hulk cheer?
I don't know.
It's beautiful, though.
It's great. Really adds to the overall experience.
It does. They can change a game. In the state champion year 2014, the Rupp Arena was so infatuated with the Colonel Crazies and what I call their act. I was sitting next to people from Marshall County, and they were, where do these guys come up with this? And I said, they train for it, starting as freshmen. That's the allure. That's with a spirit that will not die.
4:20 to go. Yeah, when I was picked up for this, I was told all about it, and I'd seen a little bit of it in videos, but I just hadn't seen it in person yet. And then I come here and see something like that, and it's an experience unlike anything else. The game and the crazies along with it.
Another turnover there.
Walter fouled as he put it up with his left hand. 52-25 the score.
don't think the Beechwood's got a shot here recently in the last 3 or 4 minutes. They've had what they call empty trips.
53-25 as Walter hits the first. Second free throw, around and out. C.J. Brannon against Tyler Fleek. Brannon to Tebby. Tebby back to Schilling. Schilling goes against Walter. Walter almost gets him out of bounds. Brannon's three, short, rebound by Thielen. Rusatz up to Frederick. Frederick, hesitation to the lane. He's fouled on the shot, and he'll shoot two.
Broke him down, crossed over, head and shoulder. He's got all of the moves, man. The all-region candidate, player of the region candidate, all-state candidate. Had a great first half with 16.
Free throw, good for Frederick.
I think it's Lumberjack night or something like that tonight.
The flannel shirts out in full force. Second free throw down, and it's 55-25. Turnover. Thielen, one hand. Yes, sir.
Bent the steal on that one.
Jake Walter didn't want to give up another foul as Deathridge got it. Rusatz, crossover dribble. Frederick for three. Nope. Rebound, tipped around, come down to the Tigers. Crossover dribble, got Rusatz, and a hard foul. Fleek wasn't going to let Ben Tebby score.
Ben challenged him. He was taking it to the rack. He's taking it hard. And Tyler said, you know, you're going to have to earn him. Good foul, good basketball. That's just good basketball right there.
57-27. Tebby. First free throw through the net. And T.J. Deere and Jack Davin coming in for Rusatz and Thielen.
Ben's averaging 10.2 a game. He had 4 in the first half.
Second free throw. That's good. C.J. Frederick going against some three-quarter court pressure. Frederick has Jake Walter, but they don't want to force it yet. Under 3 to play, 57-29 Colonels. Jake Walter has a double team, passes it out. Tyler Fleek for two, no. And a foul against Jake over the back. That's Jake Walter's fourth foul. (57-29) the score. Stroud going behind his back against Davin, pulls up, wild shot. Tyler Fleek comes down with it, and Frederick wants to work fast. Now he'll pull it back out. Frederick, screen from Fleek, Davin on the wing, spin move into the lane to Walter, and a foul on the floor. He was grabbed on the arm.
They are not going to make it easy on Big Jake. Mitchell Schilling at 5'11" is guarding him in the post the last two trips. Gritty performance by Mitchell, being a foot shorter than Big Jake.
And the 1-and-1 Jake's free throw, a little bit too strong. Jake can't concede a foul, and he has to step out on defense. Nobody was there. And Scotty Stroud hits a three, 57-32. 2 minutes to go in the third.
From 22 feet, that he can shoot that basketball. Just haven't had a lot of open looks.
Frederick to Davin in the lane. Davin, no with his left hand. Ball rolling around, Deere gets it. Fleek, little jumper for two from the baseline. And it's 59-32. This game, a 27-point lead for the Colonels. And Dan, like I said, it feels closer than 27. But it's not, and it's very clearly not, and it hasn't been at all this quarter.
No, it's been a 15-point game since the first quarter, but Beechwood hangs in there. They're not going to back down, and they're playing hard and tough. They are doing that. Colonel's now got Deer in and Fleek, as well as Deer with Big Jake and CJ in the ball game. Really, Coach Getz is coaching right now, I would think, for the district tournament. They'll be the second seed in the district tournament, so they'll draw opposite of Cov Cath. They'll have to play, Covington, Holmes. I think that's who they'll play in the first round, but or Holy Cross, one of those two. But they'll likely be able, because they beat Holmes. They just beat Holmes recently. I'm sorry, they lost to Holmes by 3 on the 23rd of January. So
59-32 the score, 1:40 to go in the third. Out of the timeout, it's Beechwood. Down low under the basket, Tebby went against Fleek. Walter can't give up another foul. Tebby's shot, no. Rebound off of Walter's hands and out of bounds, just barely nicked Walter's fingertips, because I thought Tebby was going for it as well.
Yeah, that was a will play. Tebby wanted to score. Fleek bodied up and on him and walled him up and played good defense.
Credit to Tyler Fleek. Double team. Now for 3, that was Tebby, but he passed it up. Underneath the basket, Zach Deathridge was wide open. Instead, they took a long 3. Jake Walter corrals the rebound. Roussett's a screen from Walter.
Almost threw it away.
Roussett's looking underneath the basket to Jack Davin. And he puts it up and in. Across the 60 mark. And under a minute to go in the third, it's 61-32.
Aiden hasn't had a lot of points, but I think that's his 6th or 7th assist for the game. So he's contributing definitely.
Faking a 3 and going down the lane is Tebby. He's fouled on the shot. Trying to keep it within 30.
Beechwood, they are looking a little bit winded. Got hands on their hips.
It's really been the crowd's atmosphere that has kept this one interesting, because as far as what's been going on in the court, at least since about midway through the second quarter, the Colonels have just been smothering on both ends. And really the story has not been so much Beechwood's defense, but it's really just their inability to score the basketball.
Well, the first part of the third quarter, they had 3 or 4 empty trips where they turned the ball over. 3-quarter press they got going now. Luke
Thielen in the game now. Tries to find Fleek underneath the basket. Turns it over on a pass. And then a foul going the other way. Foul on TJ Deer as they tried to double team. Mitchell Schilling checking back into the game for the Tigers.
From this point on, Paul, both teams will shoot the bonus.
61-33 the score. Cov Cath a commanding lead, 20 seconds to go. Luke Thielen knocking it away and earning that turnover back. 15 seconds. Will they wait for the final shot? Luke Thielen has the ball on the wing. Now Deer. Roussett's, he will wait for the final shot. 5 seconds. Davin to Deer. Deer puts it up and in for 2 as the buzzer sounds. A 30-point lead for Cov Cath going into the fourth.
Great high-low pass from Deer to from Davin to Deer, and TJ finished it.
Contingent of Cov Cath students exiting the game, and we've seen them do that before in some blowouts.
They're going to Barleycorns. Oh, hey, I want to thank our corporate sponsors again real quickly. With them, we couldn't do this. St. Elizabeth Healthcare, Ortho Cincy, Global Business Solutions, Schrudy Zimmerman, U.S. Bank, Pomeroy, Barleycorns, Dickman Sports Cafe, Rumpke Waste and Recycling, Thomas More College, and DB&L. Also want to say hi to my mother, who's, I hope we figured it out, Mom, and we got you tuned in. I'll check in with you on the way home. And also my son, Ezzy, who's not here tonight, who's a freshman. He had his wisdom teeth pulled today. So,
oh, no.
So he's at home icing down the jaw.
How'd he handle that? Was it all come out okay? Because my experience was not pleasant.
Well, he's eating a lot of ice cream, so I think he's okay.
Well, that's good.
But Ez, get a good night's sleep, buddy, all right? Love you.
63-33 the score going into quarter number 4. Beechwood's going to need a miracle comeback to even make this one interesting as far as the score is concerned. The first possession, Mitchell Schilling is trapped by Frederick and Rusatz, but a foul underneath the basket, and that's going to send Scotty Droud to the line for 2 shots, or at least 1, because it's a 1-and-1.
You know, in this situation, fouling when the clock isn't moving is not what you want to have happen. Casey's pleading his case that he wasn't holding, but he got caught.
Knocks the first one down, the second one.
And was in the cookie jar.
Colonel's just trying to get through this one, no injuries. A.J. Mayer's fouled, and he'll go to the line, so it's only been 13 seconds, but we're already going to shoot at least 3 free throws, maybe 4.
Might be a long quarter.
Could be at this pace. (63-35), 7:40 to go. Long 3, an air ball for Scotty Droud.
Just not in rhythm. He's rushing his shot. He just the freshman just challenged AJ. What a great play by both. Hard, tough play. Scotty, said, I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to make you earn it.
Aiden Rusatz up the court to A.J. Mayer, and Mayer went up strong with it. He was fouled, and he'll shoot 2. First, good. Second, that's good too, 65-35. 7:33 to go in the game. 30-point lead for the Colonels, now in a 2-3 zone. Mitchell Schilling, top of the key. C.J. Brannon back to Schilling. Schilling looking to split the defense. Underneath the basket, it's Bow, and passes it out of bounds. It'll be back to the Colonels. Cov Cath is just letting them have it now.
Yeah, went 2-3. I think that's a way that Scott wants to maybe avoid some fouling and them shooting without the clock running.
C.J. Frederick comes away with the wild pass. Nowak looked for Mayer. The ball was knocked out of the air on a home run pass, and then Frederick put it up and in for 2. 67-35, 6:54 to go in the game. Long 3, an air ball for C.J. Brannon. Ball out of bounds off of Mayer's hands. Trying to get the rebound. Jake Walter will check back in. Walter for A.J. Mayer. And after Walter scored 29 points in his last game, he's had a little bit of a struggle tonight.
Now I don't want to say he was due, but he was shooting at such a tremendous percentage over the last 10 games. I think they got in his mind a little bit, in his head a little bit.
Long 3 again goes all the way around and out for Scotty Droud. He's had some bad luck shooting it tonight. C.J. Frederick finds Nick Thielen, handles the pass underneath the basket for 2, and it's 69-35. Timeout taken by Beechwood.
We are 1 point away from being a running clock, it looks like, with, what do you say, 6:21?
To go in the game,
yeah.
And
thank you again to our halftime sponsor, Specialized Plumbing Parts, and to our sponsor, Arlington House Heating and Air.
looks like that'll be it for the Crazies.
They are going out in some sort of ritual manner. Looks like they're doing the locomotion a little bit.
Great to see. A lot of fun from the Crazies. They'll head on out. This game effectively with that decision, it's been put to rest, 69-35. Just administrative stuff the rest of the way.
Yeah, I think, again, the Colonels have put together an effort that Scott and the coaching staff very happy with. Defensive pressure has been excellent. BG Tech, man, they're 14-10. They've played a really good schedule. They went to the All-A. They got to the quarterfinals. This is a good basketball team. Whether they're an All-A school or not, this is a good basketball team. Coach Getz, Coach Ward, Coach Skinner, Coach Ross, they do a great job with these guys.
Yeah, and none of this talk tonight is in any way to discredit Beechwood, but on the other hand, it would be more of, I guess, a credit to Cov Cath just because of how well they've played and how good of a team this is. As a foul and one from the baseline for Scotty Drought, finally gets one to fall. But yeah, Dan, this has just been a credit to Cov Cath and their determination to put this one on ice.
Adding AJ, some folks may, will that take out the chemistry that's been happening recently? Not a chance. He wouldn't let that. He's not that kind of kid. He's a leader, and he stepped right in like he hadn't even left.
Seamless transition for the Colonels, who are passing it around to take some time right now. Roussettes and a foul underneath, and
they're not going to let this get away. This 33-point game. He body checked. He checked him, and Duncan
Baugh will have to check out with his 5th foul, and Jake Walter will be at the line for 2 shots now, a double bonus situation. A lot of the Beechwood students, they're leaving and
heading up the road to Fort Mitchell.
First free throw rolls just out. (69-38). Second free throw. Good for Walter. 70-38. Beechwood just trying to get something going here at the end of the game. Scotty Drought pulling up. He has nowhere to go. Mitchell Schilling across the court to Brannon. Brannon's cut off. Smothering defense still. Davin on Tebby. Tebby for Schilling in the corner. Nope. Rebound by Walter. Roussettes had a chance to push it up the court quick, but instead he'll just hold it back now. He'll take a 3. No, but the rebound is off and a foul.
Off ball.
Off the ball on Tebby. Walter will be at the line again.
Yeah, they're just going to keep this under control. If it's got to be a free throw shooting contest, that's going to be. But they're going to keep this under control. Good game management by the officials.
Good free throw for Walter, 71-38. Second free throw, short off the front rim. Rebound by Brannon. Brannon at the court to Drought. Drought wanted a 3 and he pulled back. Throwing it around, Tebby. Brannon underneath the basket to Schilling. Schilling nowhere to go. Drought. A wing for Tebby. Long shot, that's a 3. 71-41. Aiden Roussettes to Jack Davin. Davin will try his luck. No, he has it. His pass intercepted. And a strong block from Nick Thielen. Aiden Roussettes was looking for Jake Walter. His pass, a wild pass, intercepted again. Nick Thielen going for another block. But a fake given by Scotty Drought to get Thielen to jump and go by him. 71-43. And Beechwood starting to score some points, but it's much too little too late. Jack Davin, he'll just lay it. No, too strong.
Rolled his ankle maybe.
And he looked like he rolled his ankle as he came down. A corner 3. That's way off to the left for Deathridge. Then another long 3. No, and a rebound. They'll stop the play as Jack Davin has to hobble off. Luke Thielen will come in for him.
Jack struggled through his career with some ankle injuries in the past. Had the concussion, I believe, earlier in the year, so hate to see. Hopefully that's just minor. Medical staff at Covenant Catholic and Ortho Cincy is taking a look at him.
71-43 the score with just a couple of minutes left in the game. Adam Fortner will check in.
Well, our next game is where are we at? We're at Roger Bacon. Is that where we're at?
Next Tuesday night at 7:30 at Roger Bacon. That game is a little bit of a late addition to the schedule.
And that's over across the pond by your house.
It is. It'll be a short drive for me. Roger Bacon on Tuesday, then Dixie here again on Friday before the final home game on Tuesday, February 13th.
We also have the Danny Tiemann Classic for the great Danny Tiemann, who was here for so many years as a coach and teacher and a supporter and a Christian leader for these young men. They have that up at Thomas More College on Saturday, the 10th of February against Boyle County.
Luke Thielen, Michael Collins in the game, Adam Fortner, TJ Deere, and Grant Diskin. Thielen calls out the play. TJ Deere, eyed the rim, under 4 minutes to go. Deere will take a shot. No, rebound, Collins came in for it, but tipped it away. Beechwood not giving up yet, an athletic move down the lane. But Brandon was hard off the backboard, and Luke Thielen comes skying in, and he's fouled. A lot of fouls in this fourth quarter that keep stopping the game.
Now they're challenging everything on both ends.
Benches for both teams now starting to check in. Ryan Henry into the game, a 6', 155 senior.
Glad to see Ryan in. His mom's here, Jody, and I think his dad's out of town, Patrick, on business. Good friends of mine, and glad Ryan's getting in to get a little time.
Patrick Henry?
He was a great American.
He was.
We want to remind everybody on February 24th, the Tim Shields Euchre party that goes towards my father's scholarship fund, the 1961 Tim Shields Scholarship Fund. If you're looking for a good night out and some fellowship and with some friends and a little euchre and a lot of laughs, come down and join us. You can contact the school, find out information regarding the event.
But that night's a lot of fun.
It is. We usually have about 120 euchre players and about 200 some odd guests. Some don't want to play, they just want to enjoy the fellowship. And obviously we have food, refreshments, and fellowship, and a lot of my dad's old stories.
TJ Deere gets a bucket. Dan, I can't say I've ever played euchre.
Oh my God.
You'll have to teach me.
You're kidding me.
I've never played it.
They don't play that at Xavier?
Oh, we don't. I don't know. I guess I need to be cultured.
We'll after the ball game, we'll talk about the basics, but it's a great social game. My 16-year-old daughter, Summer, just learned it a few months ago, and it's something that her friends are all doing now at 16 and 17 years old.
I've been asked to play it. I've just never had a chance to.
Well, I'm the all-time greatest player. Ask Scott Gunther.
Uh-oh. I don't know if I want to challenge the all-time greatest player on my first game. Not sure that one would go over well. Yeah. Long three by Diskin around and out. 75-43. 2 minutes to go in the game. Here's Henry. And now Mesher. Mesher looking around for something. Deathridge. Mesher. Mesher. Kezel. Deathridge splitting the D, and it has it poked away. Thielen up the court to Diskin. His left hand off the glass for two. 77-43.
Grant Diskin had a very good JV game. JV won. It was 66-32.
And then Luke Thielen off a great assist from Grant Diskin. 79-43.
66-34, folks, I'm sorry.
JV victory tonight. That's a bit of a relief for the JV after they've played a handful of very, very close games.
I think they're only one loss this year, and again, they have the JV tournament tomorrow is at the St. Henry Sports Complex, the old sports of all sorts, on Route 18 right there behind Remke's and between Remke's and Boone County High School. They play at 9 a.m. against the Pioneers. So good luck for the JV team.
TJ Deere looking for Luke Thielen. Thielen stepped out of bounds as he tried to save it. Running clock. This game just about over. A handful of seconds to go. .20 seconds. 79-43. Corner almost out of bounds. And now he is out of bounds. 10 seconds, the clock's gonna tick away.
Coaches shake hands. Scott shakes hands with his staff. Coaching staffs know each other pretty well. And during the game, it's that they both, all these guys want to win, but when it's over, there's a lot of friendship and camaraderie with the guys.
And that'll do it tonight from Cov Cath. We'll get you the final stats here in a minute. But what a night for C.J. Frederick and the rest of the Colonels. A.J. Mayer had a fantastic debut from his injury. And the Colonels take this one by a final score of 79-43. Cov Cath improves to 21-4 on the season. Beechwood falls to 14-11. And this is a game that potentially you could see in the districts in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, you very well could. And it's a measuring stick for Beechwood a little bit to see where they're at. They've played some competition that is solid. They lost to Holmes by only a few, 3. They played a good schedule. They beat Boone County, so they've beaten some big schools, and handled themselves well over the course of the year. I think we might have a little post-game interview with a player coming up, so we'll keep you in tune on that's going to happen. So stay tuned. I think we might get A.J. Mayer up here to talk a little bit and talk about his first game back. But the alumni is milling around, shaking hands, talking about the W.
A great win for Cov Cath as they look forward. That was now their 9th win in a row, and potentially could go ahead and get 10 at Roger Bacon on Tuesday night.
Yeah, they're on a roll. Ranked in the Courier Journal poll right now at second. The draw for the Sweet 16 was yesterday, and they drew the 7th region. The favorite right now in the 7th region is Fern Creek, who the Colonels lost to down at the King of the Bluegrass by 8. That was a game where early on AJ had went down, and Fern Creek shot the ball well, and give them credit. We didn't play at our best, but they're the favorite to come out of that. So not trying to put the cart before the horse here, but that potentially that could be a matchup down there. But we got business to take care of here.
Got to go ahead and win the districts, win the regionals to be able to get down there. But you don't want to look too far ahead, but we do have a chance to sit here and speculate a little bit and kind of kick it around. And what did you think of the draw? What did you think of how that all turned out?
Well, very favorable for the 9th region. Besides having to go through Fern Creek, and Fern Creek's, I believe, rated 6 in the state right now. The other teams on regions on our draw side of the draw are, anybody can win at any time, but it's a favorable draw if you're just looking at it and going against ratings and Lincoln House ratings and things like that. But you know, the Louisville region, the 6th region, has to play the 11th region. So you know, potentially that could be, you know, Trinity, that's number one in the state in Scott County, who's number 2 in the state, or 3 in the state.
We do have the final stats for you here as we wrap up that discussion, so we'll have to see however that happens. But we do have to win the regional first before we even get there, but did have a chance to check that out. That draw was yesterday, like you mentioned, but the leading scorer tonight was C.J. Frederick. He finished with 20 points. A.J. Mayer behind him, he had 16. Nick Thielen, a great night for him. He had 15. A lot of other Colonels got in the scorebook. Casey Nowak had 7. Jake Walter had 5. Luke Thielen and T.J. Deere both had 4. Grant Diskin, Tyler Fleek, Aiden Rusatz, and Jack Davin all had 2. 15 assists. 15 assists.
You, Mr. Deere. Thank you, sir.
For Cov Cath on 26 made field goals, 22 forced turnovers, and that's again the story of the night. Beechwood turned it over 22 times. Cov Cath only turned it over 10 times.
At half, they had 7 turnovers. At the end of the game, 22. Pressure was on big time by the Colonels. 6 assists from Aiden. I know he's in a little bit of a shooting slump. He'll get out of that. I know he'll get out of that. 13 steals you just circled. Big number there. We shot, what did we shoot, 59%?
59% from the field overall, 38.5% from beyond the arc, and 73% from the line. On the other side, Beechwood shot 34% overall, 27% from beyond the arc, and 70% from the line.
You know, their leading scorers scored 9 points below his average. Their second leading scorer scored, how many did Tebby have? 10, so he scored a point under his average. C.J. Brandon had 6, you know, underneath his average. So smothering defense by the Colonels to create the turnovers, to create the steals, and to keep the shooting percentage down very far at 34% for the guys from Beechwood.
Dan, any final thoughts before we sign up and look forward to Tuesday?
Well, I'm not. Let's hang on here for a second. I think AJ's coming up. He's going to come up and join us. So yeah, he's going to come up and join the broadcast, and we'll get a chance to spend time with him. I'm sure he's going to say hi to his brother, who's recovering, and but you know, AJ, big time stats for a guy who's been out for 6 weeks. He had 16 points. He was 9 of, you know, had 3 for 3 for field goals, 9 of 11 from the free throw line, and he stuffed the stats tonight. Showed his leadership as he always does. Whether it's, you know, whether it's on the field or in the classroom or visiting grade schools, which he does, he is always shows tremendous respect, and he also shows great leadership. So AJ, thanks for joining us. Tell us what it was like to get back on the court after about 7 weeks off.
Yeah, I mean, it felt really good, and I was just trying to get in the swings of things. I practiced yesterday, and you know, I finally got my knee better, and I felt great. I mean, a great environment, great first game to come back to, and I was just giving it my all. I was trying to bring a bunch of energy off the bench.
Did you feel like the knee was doing everything that it could tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I felt yesterday, I felt really good at practice, and I originally wasn't supposed to play today. And I told Chris, the trainer, I was like, hey, I feel really good. What do you think about me getting some playing time tonight? And he said he thought it was a good idea, too. So it ended up going pretty good.
You didn't slow down. You went right in there and had a great night.
Yeah, absolutely. It felt good being back.
Yeah, you finished there with
16
points in a return game. That was pretty decent.
Thank you.
There was no rust there, AJ. You know, I really, really enjoy watching how you, and I have for many years, as you know, how you rebound the basketball. You have a nose for it. You have a passion for it, which that's instinctual. You don't teach guys how to do that. You just do that. And I think that brings so much to this team. And as we make our march to the district title, to the regionals, and so on and so forth, what do you think might be missing with the team, if there's anything?
I don't really think there's much missing. You know, we just got to come together as a team. We got to throw the ball around. We can't have any individualism. And I think that's kind of the biggest thing. Obviously, we have great players. We just got to make sure that sometimes they don't try to do too much. You know, make the team go all in at one. And I think that's going to be what the biggest key is for going into the district.
It looked like, you know, in that third quarter, the guys from Beechwood, and you know all those guys pretty well. You've run around with them. You've seen them in the round. But it looked like they were getting underneath Jake's skin a little bit. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows, you know, Jake's a big guy, and they love pushing him around. I mean, none of the referees really call that many fouls against him because he's so big. And so Jake gets a little upset about that. So he's kind of easy to get under his skin. But, I mean, those guys, they just push him around, and Jake doesn't like that. You know, being 7 foot, they're kind of banging against his knees and stuff like that. But, I mean, he ended up with a pretty good game. And, you know, I think that's some of the team's thing is trying to get Jake, you know, trying to get into his head. But recently he's been doing a really good job with that, and we're proud of him for that.
Well, good. He's been shooting the ball well. He's third in the state at 75% field goal percentage at the state. So, well, hey, Michael's, he's sick and home in bed right now?
Yeah, Mike's sick.
All right. Is he listening, you think, or is he?
I'm not sure.
Well, I didn't see your grandpa here. Either one of them I didn't see here. But where was Grandpa Maley at tonight?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he wasn't here.
Yeah, because he's here. I know the girls at Notre Dame didn't. I don't believe they had a game tonight. No, they didn't. But
no.
Well, again, thanks for coming up and joining us, and you know, continued success. I know what you have on your mind. It's, you know, you got to get one to another. But I know you want to go grab the brass ring like you did in football and bring another one back here to the Park Hill. So. Thanks for joining us. Anything you want to end on?
No, I'm good. Go Colonels. Thanks for having me on.
All right, buddy. Hey, thank you very much.
No Appreciate it.
All right, buddy.
See you guys.
Good game, AJ.
That was AJ Mayer. First game back in 16 games. Had a tremendous game, Paul, and he's just a class act.
Yeah, he did. Great interview by him. Great game by the Colonels, and what a performance. He mentioned it. There's not really anything glaring that sticks out that they really need to correct. You know, maybe one night, you know, Aiden Rusatz, he's been a little bit of a shooting slump, but otherwise, there's not really anything glaring that it seems like they really need to correct. Is the way they're playing, go in and take the smooth transitions right in to that district tournament, but we still got a little bit of a ways to go until we get there at the end of February.
They're looking like a well-oiled machine right now. And, you know, Michael comes back, brings that part of his game to the team. Peaking at the right time, hopefully not too early, but this team is focused. I can see it in their eyes. They are focused, and they're ready to go claim the regional championship and move down to Lexington for the greatest show in hoops, the Sweet 16 tournament.
So once again, Cov Cath tonight, victors by a final score of 79-43. For Dan Shields, I'm Paul Frenchner saying so long, everybody. Thank you for listening. Hope to see you right back here on Mixler. We will have the audio feed on Tuesday night at 7:30 at Roger Bacon. Have a great night and a great weekend, everybody. All right.
Quarterback coach is here. Really? From Miami. Oh, he's probably watching AJ.